What's up? Welcome in. Hoge Jahns back with you. A few days into training camp. At least, well, let me say training camp. With some quotes in the air. This feels like OTAs, Jahns. When we get some pads popping and we get after this thing a little bit.
This weekend.
Oh, okay. Finally.
I hope. Yeah, but
yeah.
In years past, I've been excited about covering the first day of pads. And then there's no popping. there's no hitting. There may be some team run drills and whatnot. Maybe some offensive, defensive line pass rush. But I've been disappointed by first day of pads, first day of hitting in the past. So I'm not getting my expectations up too high.
But it at least, I think, start to feel like training camp at that point. Nonetheless.
You can hear some collisions.
Yeah. We're here. We're 3 practices in. We're going to break this down. We got a bunch of questions from you guys, too, that we're going to answer as well. We appreciate those coming in via Twitter. Make sure you're following us on Twitter at Adam Hoge, at Adam Jahns. Our show account is at Hoge Jahns as well. And hopefully you'll hit us up there. HogeandJahns.com, where you can find the merch. We're both rocking it today. Johnsy's got the football shirt on. It's funny. I was debating between that one and this one, so I'm glad I went with this one. The old school beer drinking football guys. You know, I figure we're doing we don't do many nighttime pods when we're recording this on Monday night. Typically we do the morning thing, so I figured it was okay to grab a Miller Lite and put the beer drinking football guy shirt on.
Now Miller Lite's not usually you're into different beers.
This is I feel like Ricky Bobby now, but this is a CSGO sponsor, and we love them very much, and they do a great job and supporting our show. And so the fridges are stocked with Miller Lite, and I in all seriousness, I don't drink that many pale ales anymore.
No,
if I do, it's just like the lighter, like just APAs. Yeah, I've kind of gone back to light beer. I didn't look. Corona has always been good to me and will always be good to me. But yeah, Miller Lite's been coming through this summer.
I'm a Modelo man.
Modelo's solid too. Yeah.
Very smooth. Okay. Never really any hangovers to go with it if I overindulge on some occasions. But
you never do that.
No. Not since Bourbonnais training camp. I lied. But I do enjoy a good cold beer.
Yes. We all do. Anyway, you can find all this merch at HogeandJahns.com. Please go check it out. We greatly appreciate the support. One of the many ways you can support the podcast, and another is to check us out on YouTube, where you can watch us if you want to see our beautiful faces. Just go to our YouTube channel, Hoge Jahns. Hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button too if you're already here. And as we like to say, if you're a podcast listener on Spotify, Apple, wherever you do that, please rate and review. But also, do us a favor, check out YouTube and just hit subscribe for us. Even if you don't normally watch there, it just helps grow the channel. Same thing if you watch on YouTube, please go check us out, the podcast version, and hit subscribe. Download some shows. We appreciate your help in growing the show. All right, so we've had report day. We've had 3 practices. Curious your overall feeling of training camp. We sort of had this discussion last week about how we miss Bourbonnais. You really miss Bourbonnais. I kind of missed the first week of Bourbonnais. But to me, Jahns, and I also get it, the Bears have an extra week of practice, essentially, because they're playing in the Hall of Fame game. And at least these first 3 practices, I think it's partially what we're seeing and partially just the feel of not having any fans there. No pads, which is normal through the first few practices, but not having fans is not normal.
Yeah.
And to me, it feels like an extension of OTAs to me so far.
It does. I'm not like the oldest guy in the meet. Whoa.
You okay there?
It's late, baby.
No. Yeah.
I'm not the oldest guy in the beat. I'm not going to be a cranky reporter. I miss the fans. I miss the energy. I think Matt Eberflus hit on it today a little bit when he was essentially saying how excited he was for Wednesday's practice, which is the first day that fans will be in attendance. Now, it's not one of those open days to everybody. There's going to be a bunch of flag football teams, local football teams out there watching practice, coaches and whatnot. So it's a special invite practice. They have those days a lot.
Yeah, it's a
at Hallis
community
Hall.
day, I think they
It's
call
community day. Yes, that's what they call them. But the energy's different. We all know it. The energy just feels a lot different when you have cheering, jeering, some of the oohs and the ahs that come from the stands.
Yeah, I don't want to be clear. I don't necessarily have a problem with it. I mean, again, these are sort of bonus practices that they have. I mean, they do have a game in 10 days, but who knows who's really going to play in it, how much it matters. That's fine.
I'm going to
But-
go out on a limb and say that Caleb Williams, Cole Kmet, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Montez Sweat don't play.
I mean, I think they only have 4 padded practices or something like that before the game. So, yeah, you got to be smart about that. And also, I think like these last 3 days have been sort of just a check-in. We heard Flus talk about this the other day too. Like, we're kind of feeling out where our team is and what they know and what they can handle, what Caleb Williams can handle. So that's all fine. And I think having sort of an extension of OTAs for the first few days is all right. It'll be a little bit of a step up tomorrow when the fans come out. And then hopefully this weekend we see some real training camp practices. The fans will actually be out there, public practices, and I'm sure everything will be fine and dandy by then.
I do think that today's energy, we're talking about Tuesday morning's practice, it felt more
Monday morning's practice.
Monday morning's practice, yes. Oh, so I got that wrong. The first day of the fans will be in attendance. Look, I'm already in camp mode, losing track of the day. So the first day the fans will be in attendance is Tuesday. Wednesday's the off day.
Wednesday's an off day, and then back Thursday, which is closed, unless that's a community day I don't know about. And then Friday is the first one open to fans. Can I just back up for 1 second, though, because I don't want to forget about this. I am shocked that I did not get a revenge tweet today from you.
Mark Potash set it up for me, and he actually texted me out of disappointment that I did not reply. I did not see it. Sorry, Potsy.
I mean, I had the money on like 9:55 tweet. Hoge's on the golf course.
Yeah, but you're working.
Yeah, I'm working. I mean, it was strongly suggested that I be at the golf outing, but
So you take it, yes.
Right, I'm gonna go play golf, but you're at your son's baseball game. At least you.
I was not working.
Yeah, but you were being a great dad. I was doing neither. I was playing golf.
And I was locked in today, man. I was locked in.
Good.
Yeah, I missed Potsy's text. I think he's disappointed in me for
I'm
not
just
replying.
saying, like, it would have been a great rebuttal by you because I had no excuse whatsoever.
Yes.
Really,
and then
maybe
he,
a little
he
excuse.
sent me the picture of it, and I'm sure he's still waiting for me
Well,
to
you
do
should
it.
still
but
send it out.
yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna go to bed later. So the energy today in Monday's practice between the offense and defense, I thought was good. DeMarcus Walker is always good for some trash talk, and this time, on this day, he got the offense yelling back from the other side of the field. And I thought that was very camp-like. It's not Martellus Bennett body slamming Kyle Fuller.
Oh, we're a long ways from that right now.
But it's not Kyle Long taking off his helmet and swinging at a teammate. We're not at that level yet. We've all covered that. We covered that at least. But the energy, the banter, the back and forth, it was good. It was physical, minus the pads.
First impressions of Caleb Williams so far.
He's good.
Yeah.
The ball comes out quickly. They're trying a bunch of different things. I think the Bears defense is giving him good problems he's got to learn to solve. It's speeding him up a bit. But I like the way he goes through his progressions. I like the way he climbs the pocket. The Bears shared a video today of him climbing the pocket in a team period. I want to say it was a third down team period. Climbs the pocket, protects the football, and hits DJ Moore over the middle. DJ Moore makes a nice catch, a little bit high. But I love that he stepped up in the pocket. Tevin Jenkins recognized that today in his post conference. Like, what stood out to you about Caleb Williams? What has stood out to you over the past few days? His pocket presence. Whenever we ever talked, I hate comparing players all the time, but I'm going to do it again one last time. Probably not. But Justin Fields' pocket presence was always something that wasn't praised, but something considered a work in progress. Seeing Caleb Williams step up in the pocket this way multiple times over multiple days, I think that's encouraging.
Yeah, I'm looking at that play right now because obviously I wasn't there today. It's a good example. I mean, you see good footwork, 2 hands on the ball as he starts to climb. which you always want to see. And then he kind of hesitates and waits for DJ Moore to come open, and he hits him over the middle, maybe just slightly high, but DJ goes up and gets it. That's a nice play.
Under pressure. He was under pressure all day today.
I think because the pads are not out, the biggest things that we can really focus on that are real, or like that matter, are the operational things, like that they were harping on in OTAs, that we saw him struggle a little bit in OTAs. Remember the talk about the cadences? It's very encouraging to me. The talk is one thing, like to have the coaches and players go to the podium and be like, oh yeah, it's all better. This is why it's so valuable for us to be at practice this time of year and to see them, because we can back up what they're saying with our own eyes. And I really haven't seen a ton of it. Like, I don't know if there were any today. Yesterday, there was one false start. I don't remember anything the day before that. Everything's been smooth. It does not seem like the cadences have been a problem. Now, Matty Eberflus did say today, like, hey, we're still like early on in that. There's going to be a lot more that we're going to put into that. But at least it's an early sign that he can handle it. And that's important. I think just getting in and out of the, remember, this is a guy who, I was actually talking to someone today, one of our coaches at Carmel that, kind of has a history of knowing some of the coaches that Caleb's worked with and things like that. And he's like, Lincoln Riley, he like puts a hand signal up, and that's the whole play. Like he does this with his hand, whatever it is, and that's the play you go run. You're in the NFL now. You have a long play calls coming through a headset that you've never used before. Then you got to get in the huddle and spit all that back out. And then you got to get to the line of scrimmage and get everybody lined up properly, look at the defense and identify the coverage pre-snap, and then do it all post-snap. Like, it's a completely different planet that Caleb Williams is on. And while this is still early in the process, that is all stuff right now that that they've been working on. That is real. Like, even without pads and everything, that's basically been the focus of all this stuff. And I've been really encouraged by what I've seen the last few days, because I don't see a ton of issues with that. And we've seen plenty of other quarterbacks in the past come in here and struggle with that exact stuff throughout training camp.
Tevin Jenkins described it as ironed out. Now, I know there's going to be to use another cliche, there's going to be other bumps in the road for Caleb Williams. But to your point, a lot of encouraging signs, even as much as the defense is giving him problems almost every single day. There was a team period today, again Monday, where they thoroughly dominated the offensive line, and Caleb Williams would have been hit every single one of them. Maybe escapes on the first one, but the other ones, no. He's hit. He's down. Montez Sweat, Javon Dexter, great off the ball.
Yeah. And who was that talking to? I think it was Jalen Johnson was talking about the other day. It's like, I judge quarterbacks based off of game film, not practice film, because until they got a real pass rush coming at them, you can't really identify what their weaknesses are or what they're, going to start to show you until they're under pressure. And so we got a long ways to go until we see all that.
Though, I know it's the NFL, but that game film in college tells you he will elude some of that.
Oh, yeah.
And he will beat you in various ways, starting with looking down the field before running. But he can beat you when the play breaks down. I mean, that's what makes him so special.
And a little teaser, though, I know one of the questions that we're going to answer coming up here from our listeners, another early thing I like is, okay, what does the coaching staff give you in terms of answers when that pressure starts to come? Like, where are your safety valves? And at times, some of these practices offensively have almost been a little boring, because they seem like, oh, there's a short pass there, or there's a little dump off there. But it's like, if you're really paying attention to what they're doing, I think it's a good sign from Shane Waldron early that they're putting Caleb Williams in a good position where he does not feel like he has to do everything on his own. That there's weapons to go to for the big shots, but when those aren't there, there's safety valves so that he's not taking hits.
There was a play today on 7-on-7, a drill that almost entirely favors the offense. So when the defense has its success, I think it's notable. Play kind of breaks down. Caleb Williams flushes himself from the pocket to the right, scrambling to the right. And then he throws this strike over the middle. I'm not talking about a 15-yard pass or a 20-yard pass, more like 35, 40 yards over the middle to a streaking DJ Moore. And you're making notes on this, like, okay, it's 7-on-7. There's no pass rush. But you see them practicing the scramble drill, the rules. Remember how bad the Bears were in the scramble drill with Mitch Trubisky and Matt Nagy?
Well, I remember they didn't practice it.
Oh, they were just awful at it.
They didn't do it.
It's just awful. And then to see this come to like fruition just today, you saw John Hoge, the defensive backs coach, getting upset in the sideline because it is 7-on-7. But you could also tell yourself that you saw Caleb Williams do stuff like that in his college. It's all over his college tape. And you could kind of project some of that coming to fruition at this level if such plays come to be.
Yeah. So early impressions, I think, are solid. I think they're good.
Like even the interception he had the other day.
Yeah.
Where they want him to force things because time is winding down. It's the end of the half. You're out of field goal range. You have to try some things out.
Situationally, it was fine.
To get his arm angle on that and to send that, 30 yards, 35 yards with an angle down the field. I mean, that was, although an interception, also immensely impressive because of the arm angle and the arm strength to even try such a thing. Now, Tyreek Stevenson made a great play, dove in front of DJ Moore for the interception, but just to see the side arm angle, the whip of it, the velocity of it, that's something.
That looked like a rep to me that I would call good on good. Good offense, better defense.
You sound like Flus.
I mean,
good on goods.
It was good on good because it was a good play in the moment, but it was an even better play by Tyreek Stevenson to make the interception because that was not an easy interception. His teammates didn't even think he had it at first. So those are the type of training camp plays you want to see.
Heck, maybe a film review will tell you he actually didn't have it.
Maybe. I don't know.
But defense sure celebrated like he did, though.
They did, and we don't get the replays.
We do not.
No. Tevin Jenkins was talking about his contract today, which he'll probably have to do almost every time he talks because I'm sure he's going to get questions about it. But I don't know. I mean, at least off the top of my head, I don't remember a contract situation where we heard openly that it's. So it seemed like Tevin Jenkins people reached out, and Ryan Poles in the front office basically said, "You're gonna have to wait until at least the bye week for us to look at this," which I think is a completely fair response. Like the guy's got to show he's healthy, got to show where his level of play is at. I think usually when he's out there, it's pretty good. So I get that, but I don't know off the top of my head if we've ever actually openly heard that. Can you remember a situation like that?
No. Well, I think also Tevin's more open than other players. He's willing to reveal more specifics than other players would, especially when it comes to contract. Like I'm not sure Ryan Poles would have been as specific. So good on Tevin Jenkins for being specific in this situation. You're right. It comes down to durability with Tevin Jenkins. It always has and always will. He wasn't drafted by Ryan Poles. He wasn't drafted by Matty Eberflus. He wasn't drafted by Chris Morgan, but they all like him. They all like him a lot. Ryan Poles said himself he was surprised at how well he transitioned to guard and then took off. They think he's an NFL starting caliber guard with Pro Bowl potential in moments, in spurts. Now, consistency is another question mark that comes with durability, but we know, everybody knows that the Bears' offensive line is better when Tevin Jenkins is included. The run game just works. Everything works better. Now, he's just got to be out there more consistently.
That's why I kind of like hearing, though, that I mean, we're going to have to take Tevin at his word. I don't know why he, wouldn't be telling the truth about this, but, if that's the Bears' position on this, I think that's a good position because here's the thing. If he does go out and play 17 games and is a Pro Bowler, he just became a very expensive guard. So it's a little bit of a tricky situation because I do think he's that talented, but you never want to get locked into a contract with a guy who's never going to be out there. Now, I don't think it's fair to be like Tevin's never out there. He's out there quite a bit. He's not. You never kind of know when he's going to go down.
Yeah.
And
like even like last year, he had like these freak stingers, right? Where I mean, there was an instance. Was it in Detroit where he's down and like
it looked very
his legs?
scary.
It looked very scary.
Mm-hmm.
I think he returned to that game and finished it. But those are the things. Now he's taken a lot of steps to fix those things, to be healthier, to be more fit. All the things you need to do as a professional. Again, he talked about it today. I feel like he's had these conversations come up multiple times about his health, his fitness, what he's putting in his body, where he's spending his money in terms of his own rehab. And he's got a kid now too, so he's thinking about things a bit differently.
So Quinn Miners just got a 4-year, $80 million contract with the Broncos.
$45 million guaranteed.
So, if it's the bye week and Tevin's been out there for every snap and he's playing pretty well, and you can get him on sort of a more team-friendly deal where both sides kind of understand where they're coming from with the durability and stuff, first of all, if I'm Tevin, I probably take it considering the injury stuff. And I think if you're the Bears, I think you probably offer it. But that'll be something to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, offensive line and defensive line are always going to be storylines too. So if you have a player you like, a homegrown player, even though you didn't draft him, and he proves you can be more durable, nice 3-year deal with a 2-year out. Why not?
All right, let's get to, should we get to some of the questions?
Let's do it. This one is from Bears Hype Man. Have you seen, this is a good question for you. Have you heard or seen the team practicing the new kickoff and the response from the players about it?
So, yes, we've seen it quite a bit going back to the OTAs. A little bit so far in the first 3 practices. They're definitely working on it, and it's definitely something. Even in this Hall of Fame game, if starters aren't really out there, I think those are going to be plays that you definitely circle and want to see not only how they play out, but who exactly is on the field. That's the part that I'm still. I mean, I can see with my eyes, obviously, in practice who's out there. We're not really allowed to give like specifics on, where guys are technically lining up. I'm not going to give all 11 players out there right now, but I think the teams are still feeling that out.
The players are still feeling it out.
Yeah. I mean, but I mean, even like if you're Hightower, you're Matt Eberflus, and you're like, it wouldn't shock me if there's like a kickoff in the Hall of Fame game. We're like, oh, wow, they're putting that position group out there. Like, oh, there's a defensive end on kick return. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't. It's going to be and I think that's going to be a feeling out process all year. That's going to be very interesting to watch, just from a personnel standpoint. And then, how you draw up your plays, 2 returners back there, who's going to get tricky with it and things like that. So to answer the second part of the question, it's like, maybe we should be asking more questions in the press conferences about kickoff. I've been trying not to, harp on it and be that guy over and over again, because then you would just make fun of me for it. But I don't I don't know that the players know yet, like, how this is all going to unfold.
I'll be honest. I don't like preseason football, but this new kickoff rule for the 4 times, 5 times you get it in the game, whatever. My curiosity is there. I want to see what happens. I want to see who's back there fielding it, whether it's running backs, quicker little return guys, slot guys, because what they're asked to do in this situation is a bit different. Like I could see that being running back, like a running back position, because you have to read blocks in a sense, which opens up different roster spots in front of them for offensive linemen or tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
Then pass rushers on the other side, pass rushers who can move, because you can't have all pass rushers out there.
I think Velus is going to be kind of dangerous in this, though. He's already statistically a good kick returner, and I was watching him yesterday in practice, and just the way he set up one cut,
because that's really what
yeah,
in that space. That might be it, right? That Devin Hester, Hall of Fame. I'm thinking of him a little bit here, but like that ability to make that one cut and get upfield, almost like a zone run.
Well, one of the byproducts of, and again, I don't know how it's going to play out, but the way I'm envisioning it, like just on what I already know about kickoff scheme, right? You can't hide players. Like you'll a lot of times have players stay back, like almost as safeties, so that if the returner does get past your first line of defense, you have guys back there. By lining everybody up forward, it's harder to do that. And there's actually a rule about how the kicker can't cross, I think, the 50-yard line until the ball's caught or something like that. Remember, there's like a 3-page memo on all the rules. It's complicated, but I think what I'm trying to get at is, I think that if you can kind of get past that first line, because there's so many players up,
you're gone.
You might be gone, because it's just a kicker to beat at that point. And I'm fascinated to see that. And anyway, I saw a play yesterday where that's what it looked like to me. It looked like Velus made like one cut, and in a game he might have been gone.
Now I'm interested to see, like, defensively, in order to protect those breakaways, I bet you see a couple players peel back.
Yeah,
like as safeties.
You might have to. I mean,
now those would have to be defensive backs, some of your faster guys who are capable of doing things in space.
My hunches right now, and again, these are just hunches, I don't know that you're going to see a huge difference in personnel. I do think it's going to be a much more exciting play, and I think we're going to see some bigger plays.
Good.
I hope that's the case.
What if there's like too many kickoff return touchdowns? Is that a good thing?
I think so.
It's
a good thing. Special teams matters.
They do.
Yeah.
Next question. Hold on. Wrong question. Here we go. This is from Matt. Who has surprised you the most since the start of camp?
I mean, it's been just a few practices. Who has surprised me the most?
I think there's certain things that are noteworthy. Let's like Nate Davis being a consistent participant in practice every day.
Yeah.
Or then it's like Tyler Scott making a great catch from Caleb Williams. Seeing him rotate amongst the top 3 or 4 receivers. Like that to me is notable. Surprising? Maybe, but it's early in camp.
Yeah, man, that's... I almost want to say Matt Eberflus. No, he's talking about the shade. He's offering you guys lemonade.
I'm actually going to be... Actually, if there's no lemonade tomorrow, we're going to call him out on it.
This is going to be a riot.
Some country time.
Country time?
Lemonade.
The powder lemonade? Get it going?
A big Gatorade jug.
That would be awesome.
Yes.
I'm curious if he comes through on that. It sounded like a joke, but then it was like, oh, I don't know. Maybe it might have been real.
Well, I
But
think
he,
if it was a joke, that continues the joke.
yeah. Well, and I think he was serious though about the part where it was like that was Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles. Did he mention somebody else?
I don't
Just
think
like, let's get these guys some shade. Yeah.
so. Well, actually, every single bleacher has shade, so the fans got shade too.
Right. They did it for the fans, not really for us, but I'll take it. It's good. Yeah, but to that point, I'm just being serious though, and that Flus is continuing to be
I think he's being himself.
okay. Like this is more of the normal Flus you get behind the scenes.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's not a bad thing.
not at all.
You know who never really did that was Lovie Smith. Like players will tell you all about Lovie Smith, and it's never the guy we saw in press conferences.
No, especially later on.
Yeah. So, but I don't think it's a bad. I mean, I think in this case, and he actually got a question about it today. Like, why are you more comfortable in press conferences? And he was like, time on task.
I love that he said reps.
Getting those reps in. Talk to you guys, what, 4 days a week? I get those reps in.
You're getting better at this.
Yeah. But that's in all seriousness, like coaches can get better too. Everybody learns. We get better at asking questions over time. You know, it's completely fair. And honestly, that's how it should be. So I don't know.
This is from Polar Bear. Have you been able to discern anything about the scheme that Waldron is trying to install yet, and what it means in relation to what they'll be asking Caleb to do?
So just go back on what I hinted at earlier, which is I think they're giving Caleb answers. You know, I think that, and not only that, if you look at what he was good at in college and some of his strengths in getting the ball out quickly on design screens or bubbles or, slants, because he does have that ability. I still think he can speed things up when he's going through progressions, but just in terms of literally snap of the wrist, then flicking the ball, getting it out quickly. Those are all strengths of his, and he throws the ball accurately in those situations too. So I think having those built-in answers, whether they're checkdowns or if they're design plays to keep the defense on their heels to open up other things, other answers deeper downfield, I'm seeing that so far.
I think it's also a misconception that every single short pass is a check down.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that's just him going through his progression sometimes, and that's the route being run by a Roma Dunze or Keenan Allen in the slot. I like that the ball is being spread around. I think that's a good sign for Waldron. Like the 2-minute drill today, Monday, again. I'm repeating myself just so I know what day it is, by the way. Completions to DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and Roma Dunze in the situations that define quarterback play, that define great quarterbacks. So to see that is good for Caleb Williams, and it's good for Shane Waldron that certain things are working for Caleb Williams, like that his coaching, his scheme is working for his young quarterback.
And I do agree. I think that if we're trying to compile a list of things that do matter before the pads go on, one of those is what you just said. The ball is getting spread around. When we were watching this last year, we were all really impressed with DJ Moore. And we were like, man, when Justin Fields throws to DJ Moore, it looks really good. This looks good. But it didn't necessarily look like that when he's throwing it to everybody else.
The other storyline.
Sometimes to Cole Kmet, right? Yeah. And then that translated to the season.
What was the other storyline in camp? Why is he not connecting with Darnell Mooney?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on there? Why is that once strong connection not working the same way? Why is the deep ball off? Now, we thought maybe it was Darnell Mooney being a step off because of his injury. But once things got going in the regular season, that storyline continued.
Yeah. There, and that's what I would always argue for the none of this matters crowd. A lot of times stuff like that does carry over to the season. And I like that so far we're seeing the ball spread around. Now, question for you, because I wasn't there today. Um, did Roma Dunze do more today?
Yes.
Was he
Yes.
more involved?
I'm actually disappointed that the Bears maybe they missed a highlight reel play. I thought it was for a touchdown over the middle. Play action play, Roma Dunze running some type of dig cross over the middle. We were so far away.
I heard that, yeah.
But I saw the catch was great. The offensive celebration was considerable. And to see him seemingly streak into the end zone where the weight room is. So we were in the far, at least 80 yards away from seeing this play clearly. But it looked like a great play. I was hoping the Bears shared it. Yes, he did more today, to answer your question.
Okay. Because that was honestly the only significant negative for me over the first few days was obviously he had a personal issue. You don't hold that against him on the first practice, but then second practice, they didn't really use him in teams. So you're like, we're 2 days into this. We haven't really seen the rookie much. So that's good. But it looked really good otherwise. I mean, like we said, Tyler Scott got involved when Rome wasn't out there. Cole Kmet's been getting the ball. Obviously Keenan Allen and DJ Moore are both getting the ball. So it's
DeAndre
getting moved.
Swift is getting a lot of catches.
Yeah. And hearing him talk, you could hear that he likes that.
And it's more than just checkdowns, everybody. This is from Greg. How common is it for NFL teams to structure practices so the ones always face the ones as the Bears have done? What have the Bears done in the past? And are there any downsides in this approach in that the offense may struggle to find real momentum and confidence?
Very common in training camp. I would say it's easily the norm.
I felt like Lovie Smith did 1 versus 2s. Maybe not for the entirety of practice. Definitely not for the entirety of camp, but
Okay.
I felt like we covered some 1s versus 2s. Even Tressman had some 1s versus 2s.
Well, there would be segments, and I think even Nagy did that, where they would switch around a little. But for me, at least from what I've seen, I this time of year in training camp, it is typically 1s-on-1s, 2s versus 2s, and then you get sprinkled in a little 3s-on-3s. When they get in the regular season, you're game planning and you have scout team.
You have your look teams.
So you once the season starts, you don't see Darnell Wright going up against Montez Sweat. But that's why you do that this time of year.
I want to say one wrinkle that I've noticed is that usually, well, like in 7-7 drills, it's the starter gets 4 reps, right? Then the backup comes in, gets 3, and the third string quarterback gets 1. Caleb's stretched into like 5 snaps. I think he got 6 snaps, and sometimes the 5th and the 6th snaps that he gets are with the reserves. Like he's throwing to a Velus Jones Jr. He's throwing to a Dante Pettis. He's throwing to a Khalil Herbert. And he's facing the second string defense at the same time. So those are, I find it a way where they're sneaking in extra reps for Caleb Williams. Now Tyson Bagent will still get some. Like I felt like today felt more normal, but even in 7-7s today, I don't have my notes in front of me. I feel like he got 5 or 6 in a row.
Well, and I also like that he's getting some working with other receivers deeper down the depth chart. Because at some point, injuries are going to hit. And you're going to have chemistry with those guys. So I think that that's a benefit too.
All right, last question. I know we had a lot of questions, but it's late. This is from Nick. How's Dexter looking? Does he pass the Adam Jahns training camp eye test? I like that. And do you think he can be the player the Bears hope he can be from your initial impression? He is passing the eye test right now. He's already a big man. Now he's just moving more athletically.
Mm-hmm.
He looks thinner. His arms have always been long. He's batting down passes. There was a pass today. I thought he tipped that was still caught, but he's causing problems up front. Now, I know things will be different once the pads are fully on, but my initial impression, 3 days into camp, 2 thumbs up for Javon Dexter, which is big news for the Chicago Bears defense.
Yeah. like you said, got to see the pads on. 2 thumbs up.
I'm not getting the thumbs up bubble.
We're basically Siskel and Ebert.
We are. We should review movies. Be fantastic.
Oh, you'll be better than my other co-host who doesn't know what Twister or the Avengers is.
Wait, who?
Don't get me started. Carm. Never heard of Twister. Back-to-back days. Never heard of Twister.
And then yesterday, seriously?
Yesterday when the Avengers stuff came up, and I know that would piss you off because you're an Avengers guy. Didn't know what Avengers was.
Like, even if you don't know or care for like comic book movies.
Yeah.
The top
grossing
movies of all time. It's not like the Avengers are some new thing. They've been in comic books since like the 50s and 60s.
Oh, that's the first thing our producer, Steven at CHGO, does a great job. He immediately put that on the screen. Was like, here's the top 10 movies of all time. And like 5 of them are Avengers movies.
This kind of hurts my head.
Yeah, I know.
Talking about this.
I know. I was surprised. Didn't we get a Forrest Gump reference today from Floos?
Yeah, one of Maddie Berflus's favorite movies. I love Forrest Gump.
I'm surprised Carm knows what Forrest Gump is after the last developments that we've had this week. That's how bad it is.
Wow. But even Twister, that was like when we were in high school. Blockbuster at that time.
Dude, Twister's legendary.
And plus, like, Twister 2 is coming out, so...
I've already seen it. Twisters. That's what it's called, not Twister 2. Twisters. And it's excellent. I highly recommend it. Krista and I went to see it on Thursday night before camp started. It's our last date. Until Valentine's Day. Yeah.
Before Valentine's Day.
Well, football started.
Jerk alert.
Anyway, we should review movies because we've heard of movies. So we're more qualified than the other guy. I don't even remember what we were talking about. Dexter. Also a good TV show, Dexter.
See, I've never seen Dexter. I know what you're talking, but I know what you're talking
about.
But
you know what it is. Same. I actually have not seen. I think I've seen a couple episodes of Dexter. I'm not a Dexter guy. I'm a Jervon Dexter guy, though. I think. He's been involved. I like that. I like seeing that you're noticing him. Yes. Even if the pads aren't on, he is noticeable. Now, I've seen guys do that, and then the pads go on, and they disappear. So I am reserving my judgment until pads go on, until these preseason games are played, because I want to see real production too. But so far, the boxes have been checked. I like what I'm seeing so far from Jervon Dexter.
The Tevin Jenkins, Jervon Dexter matchups, like, come Saturday when the pads are on, like, those are must watch to me. Now, Jenkins said himself today that he hasn't really faced him. No, he's been in and out. Dexter's been on the left side of the defensive line, so the right side of the offensive line over Nate Davis. I thought he gave Nate Davis some problems today. Take that how you like, but yes, early impressions are good for Jervon Dexter.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I can't wait for the pads to go on. Those are all the questions, huh?
Yeah. Well, there's more than 50, but I like those 5.
Well, maybe we can answer some more on Twitter. Have you picked up this book yet?
No. I'm glad you did. I saw that in your newsletter. Are you done with it?
The Wisdom of the Bullfrog, for those listening to the podcast, this is the book that Ryan Poles mentioned in his opening press conference the other day from Admiral William H. McRaven, who I feel like an idiot that I didn't already know who this guy was, because he is a legend. We're talking Bin Laden raid, one of our country's heroes. Navy SEAL, that is the bullfrog reference, why it's called The Wisdom of the Bullfrog. This is, Jahns, a very easy read. You can tell right now, it's not like it comes pretty small. I'm about halfway through it because, I've been covering football stuff. But it's not that hard to read. And another tip, if any of the Bears fans out there want to listen to it instead, it's on Spotify Premium for free. So
I just want to know when you're done with this so I can borrow it.
Yeah, I might be done with it by tomorrow.
Oh, is that good?
I don't know how late I could stay up. What time is it right now?
But
But it's a
you're flying through that. The press
it's a
conference is
well, what
Friday.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going what is it?
You skipping chapters?
No, I'm not. I'm on page 80.
Now the captain's class, which was what the previous regime read, like that start of that book was boring with a capital B.
Yeah, I don't think I finished that. I struggle with it. This is easier to read and also captivating because if you can imagine this guy's stories that he brings
Okay,
up,
I'll just buy it. I'll buy it myself.
you should. And the lessons in here are actually very helpful too for, pretty much anybody. I know it sounds like, oh, Navy SEAL. What am I going to learn from a Navy SEAL when I just, I'm a Bears reporter? No, there's like stuff in here. It's like the whole point of the book, leadership made simple. So there's some good lessons here. I can see, my point is, I can see this one's coming. This one's the book. Now we're into book reviews. We're going from movie reviews to book reviews. This one, to your point, Captain Class, which was the book that Ryan Pace gave Mitch Trubisky that spread through the locker room. And some of the guys legitimately liked
I
it.
actually did like that book. I'm mocking it a little bit, but it was slow in the first few chapters as they set up their analysis on
I
it.
struggle to get through it. I don't know if I can put this up to the camera close enough, but the guy who's quoted on the front of the book is Theo Epstein. You may have heard of him.
I just want to know if the wisdom of the bullfrog is better than perseverance, life lessons on leadership and teamwork. I love that you're looking for it.
It's off my camera shot a little bit, but it is up. It's right up in that corner.
For those listening, that would be the Mark Trestman book that was referenced some 10 years ago.
Yeah, I'd take it down, but I would definitely knock over the picture up there of my parents holding me at a White Sox game when I was 8 days old, which is a real thing.
Not worth it. Not worth it. No.
No. All right. Fun show. We felt a little bad that we didn't have anything over the weekend for you guys, but we wanted to get together here on this Monday night and get a pod out. We're going to have another one this week. So
maybe recapping the first day of hitting, but we're not sure yet.
Is it Friday or Saturday?
I think it might be Friday.
I heard it was Friday. But then, I don't know. Why does this happen every year?
It does happen every year.
It happens every year, and the damn schedule's done in February. I know this. What?
But as we know, covering camp, you lose track of days. I thought today was Tuesday for a moment as we started this podcast. Since then, I've repeatedly reminded myself throughout the show that is in fact Monday night.
I would like to thank you because tomorrow morning is garbage day, and I forgot that because I don't know what day it is. And now I remember to put my
garbage. You got to do that
up
immediately after we sign off, too, because you will forget.
Now that I know it, I think I'll remember, but we'll check back. All right. Follow us on Twitter, at Adam Hoge, at Adam Jahns. A lot of good camp coverage up there, as always. And hoganjahns.com, where you get all the merch, like these shirts that we're wearing today. Come enjoy football and be a beer drinking football guy with us. We'd like to do that. Cheers, and we'll talk to you later in the week.
See ya.